All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful but also one of the most misunderstood ways to get a U.S. green card, the EB-2 National Interest Waiver, or NIW for short. Now, this is a really special path. It's designed for exceptional people whose work is so important that the U.S. government essentially says, "We need you here," letting you sponsor yourself.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with what makes the NIW so different. Then we'll get into the basic requirements you have to meet, walk through the critical three-part test that's at the heart of the case, look at the actual timeline, and finally, talk about what it takes to get that final approval. Let's jump in.
Okay, first things first. Let's break down exactly why the NIW is seen as such a game changer for so many talented professionals.
This is the big question, right? This is the problem the NIW was built to solve. Think about it. If you're an entrepreneur, a scientist with a groundbreaking project, or a unique artist, your work might not fit neatly into a box at a single company. This path gives you an incredible amount of freedom and independence.
And you can really see the difference here. On the left, that's the typical route. You're tied to an employer who has to go through this long, complicated process to prove they can't find a U.S. worker for the job. But look at the right side, the NIW path. It just cuts right through all that. No employer needed and no labor certification. You're in charge.
So what does National Interest Waiver really mean? Well, this is the core of it. You're not just trying to prove that a specific company needs you. No, you're making a much bigger, bolder argument. You're saying that your work is so important for the entire country that it makes sense to waive the normal rules just to get you here and get you started. And the benefits here are just huge. I mean, you are in the driver's seat of your own case. You get to completely skip that long, unpredictable labor certification process. And best of all, a win here leads straight to a green card for you, your spouse, and your kids under 21.
Now, before you can even begin to make your case about being in the national interest, you have to clear the first hurdle. You've got to prove that you qualify for the general EB-2 category in the first place.
So you have two main doors you can walk through here. The first is the advanced degree path. It's pretty straightforward. It's all about your qualifications on paper, like a master's degree or a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of real hands-on experience. The other door is exceptional ability, which is for people who can show they're truly a cut above the rest in their field. And what's really great about this exceptional ability option is how flexible it is. You don't have to check every single one of these boxes. You just need to prove you meet at least 3 of these criteria. So maybe that's through memberships in exclusive groups, awards you've won, or even a high salary that proves your value in the field. Okay, so once you've proven you meet those basic EB-2 qualifications, you get to the main event. This is the absolute heart of your NIW petition, passing a very specific 3-part test. Think of these 3 steps as the story you have to tell, the core argument of your entire case. You have to show that your work is important, that you're the right person for the job, and that it's a good deal for the U.S. to waive the usual rules for you. Let's look at each one. First, you have to clearly lay out what you plan to do, your endeavor. And this can't just be any old job. You have to prove that this work has real, substantial value. Maybe it improves the economy or advances healthcare. And crucially, its impact has to be national in scope, not just something that benefits one company or a tiny town.
Next up, it's all about you. See, it's not enough to just have a fantastic idea. You have to prove that you're the one who can actually make it happen. This is where you draw a straight line from your past successes, your skills, your patents, your track record, to your future plans, showing you're perfectly positioned to succeed.
And finally, the last piece of the puzzle. You have to convince the government that, on balance, the United States comes out ahead by letting you skip the line. You're arguing that forcing you to go through the standard job offer process would actually hold back or even stop progress on something really important for the country.
So you've met the criteria, you've built your 3-part argument. What does the actual journey look like from that point on? Let's map out the typical process and what kind of timeline you should expect.
And this is so important. A strong NIW case doesn't start the day you file. Look at that first step, profile development. That can take 6 months. That's the critical time when you're strategically building your case, getting your articles published, and lining up support. Then you move on to actually preparing the petition and finally filing.
Now, for anybody who hates waiting, and let's be honest, that's all of us, this number is a total game changer. 45. You can pay an extra fee for something called premium processing, which guarantees you'll get a decision back from the government in just 45 calendar days.
And the difference is just staggering. You can choose to get an answer in about a month and a half, or you can go the regular route and wait anywhere from 4 to 8 months, and sometimes even longer. If you're trying to make major life decisions, that time difference is absolutely invaluable.
Okay, let's bring it all home. In our final section, we'll talk about how you can stack the deck in your favor, what kind of support really moves the needle, and what does life actually look like once you get that approval.
This is pretty incredible when you see it laid out like this. While nothing is ever a 100% guarantee, experienced teams that really specialize in NIW cases often see approval rates over 90%. Why? Because they know who's a good candidate and they put in the work to build a rock-solid, well-documented case.
And the reward at the end of all this work, it is absolutely life-changing. A successful NIW petition gets you a green card. That means you can live and work permanently, anywhere you want in the US, with total freedom to change jobs or start your own company. Your family gets that same security, and it puts you on the path to becoming a US citizen down the road.
So we end right back where we started. After seeing the whole path laid out, what it takes, what the reward is, it all comes down to this one big question, the one you have to ask yourself. Is your work, are your unique skills in the U.S. national interest?